Anyone
You think
can,
everybody could sing that?
beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, and I think that with music, it needs to come from the heart. And if it's coming from the heart, then what's wrong with it? As long as there's honesty behind that.
But then this brings us to the discussion of standards in the arts. Some people would say, although you're quite right, that under suitable conditions, all individuals who seem to have some kind of gifts in the music field, upon practicing them, could become musicians. But then, how do we distinguish people who could do music just because they can from people who could music because there is nothing else that they would like to do, and as a consequence they're just born to be musicians? There seems to be an element of a gift to music, I think, that no music education could create. In fact, I read something or the other day in a brilliant article that there was this writer who was contending that some individuals, thinking about individuals like you, are born with certain musical chords that make it possible for them to become singers. Is he right? Do you feel like there is something special somewhere inside you that is making you sing? And in that, if you did not have that, it doesn't really matter how many courses you take, that you could never become this musician that you're in the process of becoming. In short, you're gifted. Let's talk about gift.
Gift. Well, I think that is sort of like a seed that was implanted in you. I mean, I got inspired by watching other people perform music and watching them be happy and be so open and expressive, and I wanted that. So of course I practice and I work towards that. I mean, there's artists that are born in the church and they're not trained, but they're constantly singing. They're passionate about it, and I mean, they're educating themselves by constantly singing in church and singing everywhere they go. It gets to a point where they're going to get better, especially if they're surrounded by people that do it well.
In which case then we can talk now, if you like, about some of your models. Who are some of your models in music? People whom you think are the greatest, who set the standards for you?
Who set the standards for me? There's so many.
Okay, give me a list.
Are we talking vocally or just
Yes.
musicians?
Vocalists. You are a vocalist, correct?
Yes.
So we might want to be disciplined and just talk about vocalists, I think. Although we can also speak about musicians as a whole. But I prefer that we localize the discussion into vocalists. Since you are a brilliant vocalist, who are some of these great vocalists that have set the standards, the heights that you would like to climb in the future? Give me some names.
Well, I grew up listening to a lot of the pop, so I have to go with the three divas, Whitney Houston, Mariah Carey, Celine Dion. They're all great. Who else did I grow up listening to? Christina Aguilera, Madonna. I used to listen a lot to the earlier Shakira when she did the Latin music. She used to play guitar. She was great. List just goes on and on and on. And once I started learning and getting educated about music, I learned about Ella Fitzgerald. She's amazing. Billie Holiday is great. I love her ability to emote, and that is something I'm working towards. Be able to put your emotions into that music, and that is something that's really hard to do. To be able, because you're putting yourself in a vulnerable position. You're telling the world how you feel, and it's hard. I mean, if you can't do it with words, music makes it easier for you to do it, but it's still hard.
Let me share with you what I do as somebody who writes. I write a weekly column. I'm crafting to the level of perfection that I hope one day I will attain what I call craft fiction. This is a short story of a short story. It is the shortest story beyond Hemingway's, which was about 3 words long, I think. The short story that I aim at is typically composed of, let's say, 1,000 words. And there are some great flash fiction writers that I admire, such as Chekhov, the Russian writer, the short stories by Achebe. But most particularly the short stories by the Irish writer James Joyce. I would never produce, Jenifer, anything, even at this time, at this age, and I've been writing for 28 years, I think. I published my first essay at the age of 24 without looking at the sentence structures and at the way these masters have created these works. Do you do something like that, Jenifer? I do it every day, Jenifer. I would look at a successful paragraph by a great writer and try to use that at the standard that I would like to attain and hopefully go beyond. I'm sure you do that, Jenifer.
Of course I do.
Of course. Let's talk about how you do that.
I set high expectations for myself. Sometimes it's like I need to sit back and understand that I'm me and there needs to be something original about it. You can't just go ahead and copy someone else. You got to make it your own. But there are certain things that you can take away from gaining inspiration from someone else. Yeah.
Single out a song, if you like, a lyrics that you think is the best in your judgment, that you have wanted to go beyond. What would it be? Who would be that vocalist? I gave you names, for example, in my field. I gave you 3 names. James Joyce, the Irish writer, Chekhov, the Russian writer, and Achebe, the West African Nigerian writer. Could you give me some names and perhaps a song that you say, Tedros, this is really what it is like for me. This is how I would like to sing. This is how I would like to compose a song that I would like to sing myself, so on and so on. I know you can do it. You're just refusing to talk about it. Let's do it. Do it for my sake.
So 3 artists.
Yes. In your case, it doesn't have to be 3. It could just be 1.
Well, I just have many to choose from, and you want 1 song.
Yes.
Out of all the great songs written,
yes,
you want 1 song.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure you've thought about this, right?
I have thought about this. I've just seen so many lyrics that I can't.
I understand.
And then
Yeah.
it's just like, and then there's so many things that people write about. We have
Yes.
love.
Yes.
People write about helping others. They
Yes.
write about their mom.
Yes. But in your case, correct me if I'm wrong, all the indications about Project Hero move in the direction of producing a kind of music that is sensitive to society. Correct? It seems that that is where your interests and your passions lay, right? So would a vocalist like Bob Dylan or maybe Bob Marley be the appropriate vocalist for you? We can talk about Bob Marley, for example, from the islands, one of the greatest singers ever. Am I right? Would you like to talk about a Bob Marley song, maybe, that you really like and you would like to imitate?
There are many Bob. I don't know. I can't think of one right now.
Which means that then, correct me if I'm wrong, you are the kind of vocalist, as a matter of fact, who is not like me.